and welcome inside DLS Weekly. We are back live at the Christiana Buffalo Wild Wings, and how about this? Nick Alessandrini back alongside Pat Gary Anderson. Love to see that. We are back in action, and of course, as always, joined by Benny Mitchell and Jason Winchell. Pat, how's it going? We're finally getting to do a show here together on a Wednesday. How we feeling? Are we ready to get back to it?
Yeah, man, it's a spooky season. You're seeing a corpse coming back, man. I know it's been a while since I've been on the set with you guys, but I'm looking forward to it. We got some two great guests, a lot of great topics to cover here tonight, so I'm happy to be back and ready to rock and roll, my friend.
And of course, Pat, again, before we get any deeper, we got to say go Phillies after the
That's
run
right,
that they've
Phils.
been on. Go Phils. Pat,
It's true.
we'll talk about this throughout the show. Pat is in for a treat in a
Man.
week or two. But guys, welcome in. Again, a big weekend here for everybody last weekend. Benny, we're going to get to some of these recaps. You had some good ones, Sussex Central and Cape Henlopen. Jason, we had the chance to do Howard and Friends. So let's dive into some of these recaps. Benny, we'll start with you down south, Sussex Central and Cape Henlopen. What'd you see in that one?
Highly anticipated game, 5-1 versus 4-2. Has a little bit of an old rivalry to it. I mean, it was the 54th time these two have played consecutively. They're bordering districts, so a lot to it. It was Cape's homecoming. And Cape, they're at the part of the season where they want to make a statement. And they had 5 tough games left, or 4 tough games left, and now 3. But Sussex Central came in and just opening kickoff, runs it to the 25, quick score, and then ground and pound. They got 21s there at the half. I believe they total 320 some rushing yards in the game. Trying to think who Long scored a couple touchdowns. Andrew Long again, a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, that's surprising.
PJ Henry had a big game. 11 carries, 136 yards. Played defense, played hurt. He went up and caught a pass at the 1 and got hit in midair. Took a couple plays off, came right back out. He had 2 40-some-yard touchdown runs, but they were just like, hit, spin, make a cut, goodbye, and that's just the kind of runner he is. And T.J. Morris had a pretty good game. A couple good passes, and he ran just now. He just runs that wing tee so well. Central goes on to win 42-14, and a big matchup coming up next week with Middletown. And I'm not sure who they play this week, but they got Middletown next week. I think maybe they have St. George's this week. That's going to be a tough game. But they play that shutdown defense like they've been playing, and they've got that. They're at that point of the season. They're in week 7, and that wing tee, it's just clicking now.
Yeah.
And they showed why they're the number 2 team in Class 3A Friday night.
And Jason, we had one as well, and Pat, you had one on Friday night.
We did.
And let's break it down for us.
Sure,
What did you see
my friend.
there
Yeah,
Friday?
Smyrna at Dover. We had a highly anticipated battle here, and it's Brian Wright. Let me tell you something
Yeah,
right
I haven't
now.
had a chance to check him out in person yet.
This young man's development from week 2, when we seen him against Middletown, to where he's at right now is night and day. I know I wrote about it in the article, and got a lot of praise. Brian got a lot of praise on social media for it, and it's rightfully deserved. It was a good game early, Nick. I mean, it was 14-14 after the first quarter. Both teams were, kind of exchanging blows, so to speak. Jaquan Kilby was really getting after it. He ended up with 144 yards in the game.
He's good.
Machine Cosme had a nice big run on the opening drive of the game. A pick 6. That Smyrna defense got it done. Pick 6 to start this thing off, and then they made an adjustment after the first quarter and shut the Dover offense down. John Parker, only 7 touches in the game, which was a bit of a surprise for Dover. Only 7 touches for Parker. And as we said, Smyrna really just kind of took off from there, whether it be, Ymir Knight, 4 touchdowns on the day. And like I said, Brian Wright threw for 3 touchdown passes, 19-25, Nick.
Wow.
Throwing the football. That's efficiency.
You don't see that completion percentage.
It's efficiency. And he had, compared to, I think he had 3 pass attempts in week 2. Give you an idea of the growth that young man has made.
Yeah.
Smyrna's looking really good right now.
Sussex
really
Central
good.
limited Parker's touches too. So I think down the road, I think people are going to start looking at how the Smyrna defense and what the Central defense has done. Of course, you have to have the Jimmies, to get it done. But there's something those 2 teams did that made it that made Kilby have to carry the load and just kept the ball out of Parker's hands.
It looks like perhaps a formula.
Right.
Formula's getting figured out there, Nick.
I was going to say, we talk about the parity, even in Class 3A so far this year. Maybe it's not Middletown, maybe it's not Smyrna this year. Pat, absolutely right, though. Smyrna is starting to trend upward here in the positive direction. Definitely one of the teams, as we thought, to look out for here come in the playoff time. And Jason, obviously a 5 o'clock kickoff on Friday, another good one with two of the top teams in Class 2A. Everybody's first look at Friends here, their first stream on the schedule this year, and they had to take on the Howard Wildcats, number 1 versus number 2. But I'll tell you what, those Quakers were ready to go on Friday at 5 o'clock.
There we go. We got to get Jay plugged in.
Now we got the microphone.
Hit the rewind button, Jay.
There he is.
They wanted me off.
And you were right, Jason. There was a player that stood out to us for sure from where we were watching.
Definitely the Robert Tattersall. And if you saw that decleater he put on that fake punt, I mean, that was probably one of the best hits I've seen in the state of Delaware.
And you know what, Jason? It's kind of funny. It's like when you're young kids and there's that big kid when you're on the younger team and he plays all positions, makes all the plays throughout the game. That was Robbie Tattersall in that game against Howard. What is he? 6'5", 215 at quarterback. I mean, they had to have run quarterback power 20 times. He ran the ball over 20 times in this game, almost 150 yards rushing. He threw when he needed to, made some good throws. The Friends defense is what really, though, impressed me, Jason.
It really has. And, they beat Archmere, held Archmere to 9 points. They beat Howard, held Howard to 8 points. It's a really strong defense, and I think that's been the key to them this year. They even held that Delmar team down in that first week of the season. So Friends is playing some strong defense, and I think the other night that right now they proved why they're on top of the 2A rankings.
Yeah, a little sneak preview there. Again, Friends, they're sitting still atop those Class 2A rankings after the win over Howard. We also had a 4th game this past weekend. Anyone want to take a shot at Lake Forest and Caravel, Pat? That was a team that a lot of us were excited about coming into this season. Caravel undefeated, hasn't really had maybe a big test yet, but the Lake Forest Spartans, they are a test. They are a good football team. The Bucks, though, answered the call on that one.
Yeah, you saw Lake start to figure some things out offensively. Their low point on the season was the 22 points they put on Mount Pleasant in week 1 coming into this game. They're almost 30 points a game. You're thinking, okay, Caravel's got a really good defense, only giving up about 6 points a game against an offense putting up 30-plus. It should be a good matchup, and Caravel got the better of it for sure. I mean, they dominated from the very first snap of the game. Makai Carmen, I mean, he laid a hit in that game that was heard from down in Fox Run. Seriously. I mean, they were hitting hard, and they were making some big-time stops. Offensively, they spread the ball around a little bit. Truman Owerda, another really solid quarterback.
Getting better. We had a chance to check him out. He has a younger quarterback. Getting the year in.
Absolutely. And then C.J. Miller at running back was really getting it done as well. So, it was a statement made by Caravel. Obviously, we know that they were in the mix as one of those top teams in Class 2. They put it on display against another formidable opponent in Lake Forest. I was really, really impressed with what Caravel was able to do.
So you got Friends undefeated, Caravel undefeated. Class 2 is going to be some fun, definitely going forward. We'll have some games that we're going to discuss here in a little while for this weekend, and we also got very special guests here tonight. Of course, we have the Charter Force football team here, Coach Brian Winnington and some of the players there. And then Pat, another special guest for our game of the week this week as well.
Yeah, I know St. E's will be here as well ahead of their matchup on Friday. Coach Mike Lemon and company will be here to join us. So it should be a good one. That's 2 undefeated teams down there in that.
Down to 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Down to 5
only 5 left. Only 4. Only one of these 2 will remain. It should be a good one, man. Looking forward to it.
So we're going to take our first break here tonight. When we come back, we're going to be joined by one of those programs here. We'll get to them both. Action-packed show here tonight with Charter and St. E's. We'll be talking to them right after the commercial break here on DLS Weekly.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen
Your
right
home, your community. It's not just where you live, It's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, you know, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris. I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
you may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to DLS Weekly, live from Buffalo Wild Wings here in Christiana. And we are now joined by the undefeated 7-0 Charter Force football team, head coach Brian Whittington, and players Tanai Martin, Dana Houston, and Roman Paoli. Gentlemen, welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Man. Heck of a story so far, you guys, this year. Well, let's start off with an easy one here. Come to Buffalo Wild Wings. What's your go-to sauce on the wing or go-to menu item if you're not a wing guy? God forbid.
That was a good addition there, Pat. I like that.
See, I like to keep it traditional. I go with honey barbecue.
All right.
You don't get a body like this by being picky on the wings. I got an order back there right now. I got the spicy garlic, the hot, and then lemon pepper. I
Love
go
it.
more, but
Coach, we'll get this as short as possible. We got to get you back to those wings, so I apologize, man.
I only have one wing. I like that guy. I'll just go with honey barbecue.
I just like mild.
Hey, that's a good one too, right? You can't beat that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
And Coach, we'll start with you here. Obviously, the new realignment right here in football and here in the state of Delaware. Just talk a little bit about that and kind of what it has done for your team here this year. What do you think of everything and how's everything been since the realignment?
The realignment, I can't speak for every coach, but I just know for us, the realignment's been fantastic. I mean, when I first started at Charter, we were in Flight A, and my first year, defensive coordinator, trying to deal with Middletown and Chris Godwin was my first year defensive coordinator. It's come a long way.
Task.
It's definitely different. So it's been great. I mean, it's been great for the school, it's been great for the program. I think I know talking to a lot of other coaches, they're happy about it too. I mean, there's always a couple that's probably, maybe not working out so great, but from our perspective, it's been fantastic.
And guys, maybe for the players as well, were you guys a part of the team maybe before and during and after the realignment? What differences have you guys picked up here? Just been a member of the Charter Force here now for 3-4 years.
You can see people are starting to actually buy into the program. Now that we're actually starting to win, we had a lot of kids come out and put more effort into the team.
I mean, me and Ty, we've been playing basically every round since we were freshmen. So, I mean, we've been through it all. We played full seasons, freshman, junior, senior year. So, I mean, definitely last year we got a lot of change and teams on the schedule. I would like to say just got a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, last year was my first year, so I wasn't here when they were playing the bigger teams. But I mean, I saw this year a lot of kids came out after last year, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, you like to see that.
Hey, Coach, just to let you know, your brother gave you a nice shout out here. Says you should be Coach of the Year. So there you go. You got to give a shout out to that. All right. Well, Coach, speaking of which, right?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got quite a resume to back you up on that, right? You're 7-0 on the season. 7-0 on the season. Heck of a start. What have been the keys from your perspective that have led your program to where they sit right now?
It hasn't really been one thing. It's been kind of a number of things. I mean, number one, we've been pretty balanced offensively. When we've had to pass, we've passed with great success. When we've had to run, we've ran for numbers of yards and games, just piling them up. So the balance has been great. Really, the turnovers. Every coach is obviously going to say limit the turnovers, but I mean, I think we've had a total maybe of 4 for the whole 7 weeks so far. That's been fantastic. We started out with a lot of penalties in the first couple of games. We were able to minimize the penalties the past couple of weeks. We've had a lot of great consistency, I think, with our O-line and D-line. They've been, heavily consistent on pass blocking and run blocking, and that's kind of allowed us, especially these guys here, to really do their things that they're able to do. I mean, you can't really get anywhere without the line kind of being a part of that. So that's been probably the biggest thing.
And guys, maybe same question to you. What have been some of the keys maybe that you've seen to the success that you've had so far this year, led you to a record of 7-0 here through 7 weeks?
The big key is the line. Like my coach said, the line, they bought into the team, and they allowed us to get our offense going, and once we got going, it just kept flowing.
I just think the biggest thing is, this summer I feel like we got together, receivers, quarterbacks, just threw a lot more balls. Had a really successful 7-on-7 season, which definitely has translated throwing the ball. I mean, this summer I probably called more passes than I'll catch any other summer in my life. So just a lot of work in the summer. We knew what we had going in the year, so just had to prove it.
That's where it starts.
I mean, I think we prepared pretty well. During the week, we challenge each other to see what works, what doesn't. And then come game day, it's pretty easy to see what we want to do.
Hey, Coach, and then we'll open it up to you guys as well afterwards. Same question here. Great comeback victory last week against Tatnall, a tough Tatnall team that was a semifinalist in your class last season. How big was that win for your program? And how much confidence does it give you going into the latter half of the year?
I mean, that was it was fun. Obviously, a fun game.
Sure.
Going the whole game and kind of coming down to the end. But at homecoming and senior day, to have all those people there, that was obviously special for them to win a big game like that at home, and the fashion that it happened. But we knew going in that game that was a big test. I mean, we had some games earlier where we were in the game, playing till the end of the game, but we knew that one coming up was going to be probably our biggest test up at that point in the season. Mm-hmm. So we had kind of been really prepared for that, in our minds all year. Like when the time came, the game, just the whole time, we felt comfortable.
Right.
The whole time, I don't think there was a point for me that I was kind of worried. We had offensively 5 total drives, and we didn't punt once. Drove the ball every time. The 2 drives we didn't score on, we were inside the 5, and then inside the red zone on the other one. So at the end there, we had that last drive. We had a 10-minute drive in the fourth quarter. Just executed perfectly, and I just kind of felt comfortable that we were going to take that one away for us. That was, but again, it was a wild game. It was fun. I know the fans enjoyed it. So.
And guys, as a player, right? You're in a game like that's tight. It's back and forth, and it comes down to the very last second, the very last play of the game. What's going through your heads as players, especially late in that game? Your coach talked about that last second drive, and then also on defense. I mean, do you feel tight? Do you feel relaxed? What's going through your guys' heads?
Actually, I feel like that's what makes us play better, that we can rely on our defense to get that one stop that we need at the end of the game. We went down and drove 10 minutes, and our defense only had to stop them for 2 minutes. And we felt very confident in our defense. Throughout the year, we only let up maybe 14 points in the first half of the year, and we felt that we could execute pretty well. We did a pretty good job stopping the run. They had a couple big plays on us. But other than that, we stopped the run pretty well. And that was our game plan going into that game, and now we're trying to go into this game.
It was definitely no surprise what was going to be coming to us at the end of the game. We knew after we scored, I mean, we knew the ball was going to, number 2 and number 1, so we really focused on him. I mean, we knew exactly where the ball was going, so, I mean, that kind of relaxes you a little, because you kind of just feel like where he's going to be, and you know who to stop. So having, our best on their best, I was kind of confident in that. And then I saw the clock just rolling down. I was just looking at it basically the whole time. I was like, all right, I guess they got to keep going. I was just hoping they weren't calling their timeout, and they were kind of late on the timeout. The clock kept on going, and then eventually got to 0-0s, and we just finally got it done. Finally got a homecoming one. So that's a good feeling.
Yeah, I think we just trusted our defense to make a play, and then they did. So.
There you go. Sometimes it's that simple. And Coach, let's talk a little bit about this Friday night's contest here. Another very talented and undefeated team. Not a lot of losses there going around with you guys. Obviously 7-0 each. What have you guys seen? Coach, start with you and then open it up to you guys as well. What have you seen from St. Elizabeth's, and what are you expecting here on Friday night?
One, they're a fantastic team. Obviously sitting at 7-0 as well. And they have a lot of guys coming back from their championship team that the championship game last year, going all the way to the finals, and then bringing a lot of guys back. You're still a fantastic, great football team. So they're incredibly balanced. I know a lot of people, you see they score a lot of points, they run a great offense, but I think sometimes you miss that defensively. They're a really, really well-run football team on defense too. They don't really have a lot of weak spots, at all. They're not a team with a lot of holes. They just play good football. They're disciplined, coach really well. It's just they're going to come in. They're not like a flashy team. They're just going to come in and do their job, offensively and defensively, and they're going to play, as hard as they can between the whistles all the way to the end of the game. And so, it's something you got to prepare for. It just, we feel good because we've been in, a lot of games where we've had to play. We're just going to go in with the mindset of, they're a great football team. We played some good football teams, and we're just going to play our part and then, settle it in the end. That's all.
And guys, if you had a chance to check out St. Elizabeth's all this year, I know it's tough when you guys play along, the same times on Fridays. But what have you seen from them, and what are you expecting Friday night?
Pretty much, obviously they can run the ball very well. They got good blockers up front. They got a good running back. And I just think it's going to be our defense put up to the challenge to stop that running game. We stop that running game and win that game.
I mean, it's no secret. We've known all year since we lost in the playoffs last year. This is going to be the best team on our schedule, the biggest game. So, I mean, we've had this one circled all year, had this one circled last year. Lost them on homecoming, lost them in the playoffs. I mean, there's nothing more you want than to play them again, honestly. So, we know it's coming to us. It's not a surprise either. They're not a real flashy team. They'll run their 8 to 10 plays, but they run them better than any other team in our class really does. So, got to focus on that. Got to stop that.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, from an offensive perspective, they stop the run really well, so that puts us in a situation where we need to really try to balance the game out, or we're going to have to rely on our pass lot, which I'm fine with saying.
There you go. I love that.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. All right, 2 more questions for you real quick. In order to come away undefeated after this upcoming weekend, give me one key from each of you that you feel like would be the key to get you to victory. Coach, we'll start with you, then we'll go to the fellas.
I think for us is finishing drives.
Sure.
Started off a little slower in the season, finishing, but we've gotten better week to week at being able to finish drives. We've been able to move the ball consistently all year. But if we finish, that's going to be a big part of what we do. Trying to just maximize every play and every drive that we can. So we just got to finish. That's all.
I think our big key would be defense. We stop them on defense. I feel like our offense is good enough to score.
Yeah, tackling is just number one. We're going to run the ball a lot. When it's a pass, it's going to be just a fade, but tackling is just the most important thing. The open field, the running back's good. So it's just tackle. You got to do that.
I think just taking it one play at a time. If one play goes bad, it's not the end of the game. So we just got to keep moving forward, try to build a good drive.
All right, guys, and again, we really appreciate you joining us here on Wednesday. Before we let you go, we got one final question for everybody here at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's game day Friday, big matchup, homecoming, St. E's, set, ready to go. You get one song in your headphones here, a warm-up song as you walk down or getting ready for the game. What's your one song of choice as your pregame playlist song?
I'll let that happen.
Coach, you're in too. Oh, you're not out. You're going to get it there as well.
I don't really have one. I kind of like just talking to the guys before the game.
There you go, clear your mind, right?
Yeah, just be calm.
Definitely 21 Savage, Stick Talk.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I like that one.
Just say what up.
Yeah, definitely got to be what up.
See, the team knew that one, right?
Yeah,
hey, Coach, here we go. Your opportunity here.
I'm usually,
Send us
game
back.
time walking out, I'm just kind of, I don't hear anything. I don't hear no
Zoned in.
noise. I'm just kind of like tunnel vision right after the
All right,
game.
so if that's the case, then what's your favorite song of all time?
Oh, song of all time? Man, that's putting me on the spot. I don't really know.
That's a tough question.
I'm
I
mostly
will
a
say.
sports talk radio guy.
There you go.
WIP. Listen.
So,
Yeah.
occasionally music come on, but I'm not really listening to it.
All right.
So
well, there you
Anthony
have it.
Gargano going in the headphones. The cause ready to go, Nick. There you go,
man.
Coach.
Yeah.
Fellas, really appreciate you guys coming on. Best of luck this weekend and the remainder of the season into the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, Wilmington Charter Force football team. Thanks again.
Thanks again for having us.
Really
No
appreciate
problem,
it.
no problem,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Vikings.
Signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business. Business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life. Wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life. Wraps,
We're back here, ladies and gentlemen, on DLS Weekly, live here at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Christiana. Thanks once again to Coach Winnington and the Charter Force football team. Now we get to talk to the Vikings, St. Elizabeth. Coach Mike Lemon players Kasim Benson, Eric O'Neill, and Steph Goodman. Gentlemen, welcome aboard. Welcome in.
Thanks for having us.
No problem at all. Hey, let's start off with a nice little handoff, right? We're going right up the middle. What's your favorite wing sauce and/or menu item if you're not a wing guy?
Probably lemon pepper.
All right, yeah.
Honey barbecue.
Okay.
Mild.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that.
Honey barbecue.
Attaboy. Love it.
All right, guys, and again, last year coming off a state championship appearance, obviously having similar success through 7 weeks here in the 2022 season. Coach, we'll start with you. Just talk a little bit about your season last year and now coming into this year. You know, what have you noticed? Are there any changes? Obviously, you guys are still performing at a very high level. Just talk a little bit about that championship game run last year and now the team you got through 7 weeks this year.
Yeah, so, last year is last year, but it was a great year. These guys are back and having another great year. Briefly to talk about last year, we had a little bit different unit. We had 6 seniors graduate. We had these 10 juniors become seniors now. So they got a lot of experience. They know the offense a little bit better now because it was the first year with the new offense and how we operate there. Defense didn't change as much because it was still our base defense, but years of experience in life, football, school, any avenue is going to help you. And I can see that these guys have taken that experience of last year, having that great experience. Obviously, the disappointment was there, but using that as some fuel to get fired up for their senior year, and they talk about that all the time. It's our senior year. It's time to continue to work and grow and take one game at a time and be the best version of this year that we can be, and be humble doing it. And so far, so good. We're in a good place, and we're excited to play on Friday night against a great opponent.
Absolutely, and Coach talked about this year. It's 7-0, and honestly, it's been an impressive fashion, week in and week out. What stood out to you about this group, and what's the message been to keep these guys on track as the season's going on?
We take it one day at a time. We had St. Andrew's team that came in with an aerial attack, and we prepare for that. And each week presents different challenges. We know that. These guys are smart football players, smart young men. They know that each team has some players and guys that can go. And we prepare and we go over the scouting report. It's not a cookie cutter, let's just do what we do. We prepare and they adapt to that and they conform to that and they work off of what the message is week by week. And that's how you got to approach things, because you get too far ahead of yourself and you're going to slip up. And give these guys credit, these guys here and the other guys in the audience and our whole entire team. They do take it day by day, play by play, in game, and take advantage of their God-given ability and get themselves in a good situation each week.
And guys, here we go. Let's talk to you now. What are your guys maybe seen as some of the keys to your success through 7 weeks so far this season? Kasim, we can start with you.
I think our defense is what brings us a lot of success.
Absolutely. Sure. Aaron?
Yeah, our offensive line and defensive line. Our defensive line making holes for the linebackers to make plays. It's just all around good football.
Yeah, we just been staying focused, taking it day by day.
Absolutely, and it's been impressive, Nick. They're averaging 42 points a game on offense, only giving up 6 points a game on defense. As players, how are you able to stay focused and locked in despite week in and week out, putting up the numbers that you are? I know Coach talked about, a day-by-day type of mentality, but that could be tough, right? That could be tough to keep it. How have you guys been able to stay so sharp?
In my opinion, I think it's because of how far we came. We went 4 games in 2 years, freshman, sophomore year. That's like a huge field right there. Sure.
Yeah, when he said after our first 2 years it was a little rough, but we all came together as a group and we're just grinding for that one thing we want.
Being able to trust our guys. We've been playing together since freshman year. We just having a feel of playing with each other and being able to make plays with each other.
Sure. And Coach, this weekend, Friday night, first day orthopedics game of the week against Charter. Both of you guys undefeated. Just tell us a little bit about what you've seen from the Force so far this year, what you're expecting, or some of the challenges that they'll present to you guys on Friday night.
Yeah, obviously when you go into the week, like we talked about, prepping with a scouting report, you got to identify the team's best players. We know Martin, number 1, Houston at receiver, Hernandez inside playing nose. We identify those players. the schemes that they run, very fundamentally sound on offense and defense, clean in the special teams game, and what we got to do is just maximize what we do. We talk about a complete game, to play a team that's 7-0. We're 7-0, that's exciting. But ultimately, we as a team need to be at our highest level and play a complete game, to match what they do. And not overanalyze what they do, but, kind of stress the importance of playing a complete football game at our end.
And guys, now over to you. I know you guys are too busy playing on Friday nights, but have you seen anything from the four so far this season? What are you looking for or expecting Friday night when you see them out on the field?
Honestly, I'm expecting a lot of passing. Their passing game kind of showing they got good people.
Yeah, we're expecting them to chuck the ball a little bit, but that's about it. We're humble.
Yeah, we've seen a different approach from them. They trying to use their matchups for their advantages. We just gotta take advantage of what we got versus what they got.
Obviously, guys, it's homecoming weekend, right? Back when I was playing under Coach Lemon and Coach Hempel, we were told stay away from the homecoming hoopla, right? Stay focused on the game, okay? What about homecoming weekend? You're going to have a raucous crowd, I'm sure. What's exciting about a homecoming weekend game on a Friday night, especially being on the stage you guys are going to be on?
Mostly the crowd, like being able to prove ourselves.
Yeah. The crowd, playing in front of your family, your friends, it's just a great atmosphere.
Yeah, taking the field, one last homecoming with my guys, and then going on Saturday having a good dance.
Absolutely.
And Coach, does that change anything for you? Obviously, as Pat said, sometimes, a lot can go on some of these weekends. I know my coach, John Wilson, said the same thing back when I was in high school. Does anything change from your perspective, and that, maybe have to just, take a little bit more control with that weekend? Emotions are running high, etc.
Talking about homecoming?
Yeah.
So we actually just spoke at the end of practice, and these guys can vouch for that there is, a lot going on, right? We have Spirit Week. We have tonight, which is great. It's a great event for these guys. High school is about having fun, enjoying the moment, having a positive experience. But ultimately, they have one senior homecoming game. Last year, we played Indian River and we got out of there with a 14-7. Awesome win. We want to, do everything we can to be in the right frame of mind to go out there and play our best football and let the chips fall where they may and not be distracted at, obviously at practice time or game time. But you also have to enjoy the week, enjoy the moment.
Sure.
But like we talk about, not think about that when we have practice, when we have prep leading up to the game and all those types of things. And, focus when focus is needed and, do the best you can in where your feet are.
Awesome. Hey guys, two more questions for you. So from an X's and O's standpoint here, or maybe it's something beyond the X's and O's, what's one key something that you can control going into this game on Friday that you think will be a key to getting out of this thing with your 8th victory on the season?
I think our mindsets, how we attack our assignments. As long as we start off good, we're going to finish good.
I think it's going to be open field tackling. It's a big thing for us. So.
Playing how we've been playing, staying physical, making plays on both sides of the ball like we have been all season long.
Coach, anything additional, or do these guys get it?
They're on. They're buying in. We just play by play. And try not to override the roller coaster of the excitement that's going to be there Friday night.
There you go. Like that analogy right there from Coach. And guys, one final question here. We really appreciate you joining us here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Do you guys have any idea what question I'm going to ask you last to wrap up? Well, here it is.
Perfect.
So again, big game on Friday night, homecoming, etc. A matchup of undefeateds. What song are you listening to in your headphones or out on the field before the game? You get one choice here. What gets you fired up, ready for a big battle of two teams that are 7-0? Christine, we'll start with you.
All the way by Rowley.
There you go. Right. He had that teed up, ready to go.
Ball with the Ball by Kid Rock.
I love it, Coach. Love it.
Anything by NBA Youngboy or Lil Baby really gets me fired up.
Yeah, anything. See, take your pick.
Coach, you got one?
Yep.
Whatever they got, we'll go with.
I love it.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, hey, best of luck this Friday. Best of luck the rest of the season and into the playoffs. Continue the good success, man. Make St. East proud. There you go, St. Elizabeth Vikings. Take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the rest of the guys right here on DLS Weekly.
Melissa Ellis is part of 4 Acre Realty Company. She is licensed in both Delaware and Pennsylvania.
Melissa knows that being personable and patient is a key to her success as a realtor. Helping both buyers and sellers understand current market values and conditions puts them in the best position when making an offer or pricing a home for sale. That kind of high-level professional communication and her skill at being a team player put Melissa's clients at ease, knowing she has their best interests at heart. Melissa is also an athlete herself, playing multiple sports, so she understands what teamwork means. She is still involved in sports, whether it's sponsoring, coaching, or being team mom for her own 2 daughters' teams. What sets her apart is how grateful Melissa is for the trust of her clients. She never takes that trust for granted. She affords all people respect and honesty and works hard to be the support system clients need and deserve. Melissa Ellis, strong connections, strong service. Melissa Ellis.
Your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live.
Hospitality, founded in 2004 when 3 guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com. First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
Signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life.
wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotion.
Welcome back in DLS Weekly, right here. Nick Alessandrini, Pat Gariani. Special thanks once again to the Wilmington Charter Force football team and St. Elizabeth football team ahead of their matchup this Friday night. That should be a great one for the Northern crew, the Newcastle County crew. So, hey, we're going to go from the gridiron, Nick, to the hardwood. We're going to bring on our volleyball experts, Mike and Jay, and, hey, get us up to date here. What's going on in the world of volleyball, and what's exciting you guys here lately?
There's a big date coming up, right? It's almost right around the corner.
Yeah, it's the first of the fall sports to decide the postseason field. So Saturday night it's going to be St. Mark's and Ursuline, the typical or the traditional season ender.
Right.
Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, the committee meets in Dover, not online, in person only. And then Sunday afternoon we will have the 2014 field.
Amazing.
Playoffs already, Pat.
It's incredible. It's incredible. The season flies by just like that. Well, looking ahead at it right here, Jay, what's kind of piqued your interest and what could be an intriguing storyline heading into the tournament?
I see a lot of teams that you normally don't see down at the bottom, like Padua, Ursuline, Friends. I think they're all going to get in, but they're on the bubble right now, and I do think they'll get in. At least Padua and Ursuline probably will get in. Friends is right on that bubble. But, it's just one of those strange years, and then you see teams like Tower Hill with a 12-2 record, 11-2 record. So DeMarver Christian's 13-1. A lot of surprising teams. Smyrna beat St. Mark's this year in volleyball. That was, I think Smyrna's, had a chance to get that top seed.
Yeah.
With St. Mark's right there and Newark Charter right there. So it's going to be interesting to see when the seedings come out Sunday and see where everyone's paired at. But there could be a lot of, Padua could be on the road in the first round given the team fits.
Yeah, and Mike, like Jason said, some shifts here in the rankings coming into the season. Maybe some teams that you maybe thought maybe wouldn't be there are there. Is there a team maybe that has surprised you the most here this year? And I know Smyrna, I'm not sure if that was the school you were going to go with. They're sitting almost at top of the rankings.
You know about Smyrna, they beat this season Archmere, Padua, and St. Mark's. So they did the Catholic triumvirate there for the first time.
It's the Holy Trinity, Mike.
And each time they won, they're like, that's our biggest win in program history. And then the St. Mark's game was really the biggest one. They totally outplayed St. Mark's that night. Spartans have looked a little better lately. I want to talk about a team in in Blue Head Flight B.
Right.
The Odessa Ducks.
Okay.
They beat Christiana the other day. Christiana was 11-2, 12-2, something like that. Odessa, that win from my projections put Odessa into the field for the first time. So right now I have Odessa in. I think it's going to hold. I could be wrong. I'll have to redo my projections later, either tonight or tomorrow morning.
And again, Odessa, Pat, I think you remember, no seniors yet, even at that school, right? Not yet. We did their homecoming football game last year, and there was nobody coming back home for homecoming, but a young team, and they're having success in all kinds of sports early on in their school's young existence. But let's keep it going here, guys, in terms of a team maybe that you think maybe coming in you had maybe higher expectations for that didn't really maybe live up to them so far this year.
Who wants to take that one? I think when you look at it, and this is going to sound bad, but I see Ursuline 5-8. I didn't think they'd be 12-3 this year. I thought they'd have a few more wins, but they have a new coach for the first time in 40 years.
Well, how about transition? Tough transition, for sure.
They're still really good. The 5-8 Ursuline's different than a 5-8 other team, and a 5-8 Padua is much different than a 5-8 other
no doubt.
program. But those, they're both really good programs. They play tomorrow night against each other, obviously. And but I think if they get in, both those programs are going to cause trouble for other teams in the state tournament.
Sure, and let's look before we continue. Well, let's take a step back. I want to hear from each of you. What's been your match of the year so far? Are the games that we streamed, or maybe some of the other games that you covered and we didn't get the chance to stream?
Wow, there's been so many.
Yeah. Give me one that stood out.
I'll give you mine. And I saw it in person. We didn't stream it. It was Paddle Wilmington Charter. It was 5 sets. 2 teams that are right around 500, but are better than their records because of their strength of schedule. That 5-setter, it went to Charter that night. But both teams played really good. It was a really well-played match. A lot of close sets as they went along. That match could have went either way. I would love to see those 2 teams meet in the first round, like in a 16-17 matchup. That'd be absolutely perfect for me.
Sure.
But those 2, I thought that in person that was the best one I saw. It was one of the only 5-setters I saw in person.
It was actually a 4-set match that I thought was a lot of fun. It was Newark Charter at St. Mark's.
Okay.
Newark Charter, I think, was the first team to beat St. Mark's in a set this season. They're fantastic. It's a really, really good program with Coach Jess Weller, who runs it at Newark Charter. And I heard it from the Newark Charter players because I didn't have them ranked earlier in the season, so they let me have it. And I probably deserved it. But they're really good, and they're going to be a tough out in this tournament.
Now, looking back ahead here, if somebody's been following maybe one team specifically, or maybe haven't been following as much, but they want to get out to a tournament game, what's a player and or team that you have your eye on that somebody should be following going into tournament time?
Well, I would say if you get a chance to go see Smyrna.
Okay.
I think Smyrna is a fun team to watch. And there's 2 players I'm going to mention. Anna Richardson, who's a senior, and Elise Carter, and I think Elise is a junior, I'm not 100% sure. But they fly under the radar down there in Smyrna, which is hard to believe given the high profile of some of their other programs. But if you haven't heard of Anna Richardson and Elise Carter, they're both worth the price of admission.
Jason?
I'd say a team that I would like to see get into the tournament. It hadn't been in a while. It was the team that we just did a couple weeks ago. Tatnall had them on the show. They're young. They were a young team. This year they have a few more seniors. They're really scrappy. And I think that's a team that I would love to see make the tournament this year. And I hope they get in, but it's one of those ones that they're right on that bubble.
Sure. Awesome. Mike, Jay, really appreciate you guys coming on here and chatting it up about some volleyball. Tournament right around the corner. You're going to want to get out there and see some games during the week. It's going to be a great time.
And it's indoors, so you don't have to worry about the cold or the rain.
You don't. So get out there and support these girls. It's been a heck of a season so far. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, more DLS Weekly right here.
Products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life. Wraps.
Welcome back into DLS Weekly right here at Buffalo Wild Wings, Christiana. Once again, thanks to Mike and Jay chatting up about volleyball. Pat Gariani's, Nick Alessandrini, Benny Mitchell is going to join Jason Winchell.
Did I miss volleyball?
You did.
Oh.
It's a long bathroom break.
It was.
You did. We're going back out to the Bermuda grass, the natural playing
surface. You got to remember
when
we used to do picks.
Yes.
Volleyball carried the way for me.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh my goodness!
Don't forget it.
About that.
No one needs to forget that. Benny
Right.
Mitchell, that's a good man down south, getting it done in the volleyball 6. Well, let's go back to the gridiron here. Let's talk a little Super 7 here with our DLS Weekly rankings. Taking a look, we'll start down at Class A. You're going to start off Laurel, still the class of that division. St. East, Wilmington Charter, 2 and 3 coming up this weekend. Odessa, Tatnall, Seaford, Indian River rounding out the Super 7. St. Andrews as well receiving a vote. This is an interesting class for sure. Obviously, you've got the 2 heavyweights from last year still there. But then Charter and Down, I mean, these guys have been rising up. What's been a good story, in your opinion, down in this class this season?
Obviously, Charter is the biggest story in this class, and I think you're going to see Friday night what Seaford team shows up for the Lions Club Trophy. Them and Laurel, long time rivalry. Laurel's won the last 18 straight.
Wow.
But Seaford still leads the series.
Wow.
Seaford coming in with one loss. I think Laurel wins it, but let's see if it's a running clock this year. Because Seaford can put points on the board.
Jay, anything in particular that it's kind of been a feel-good story for you down here in this class?
I'd probably say Odessa.
Yeah.
Odessa, not any seniors. They beat Indian River for the first time this year. They played Laurel tough, but Laurel pulled away at the end. But it was close for a little bit
no
there.
Score after the first quarter.
Yeah. So again, they're a young team with those seniors, but they're up and coming. And I think they made a statement last year. They got in by beating Polytech. This year they had that nice win against IR. They have Seaford coming up next week, which is a key game I think for them for seeding wise. If you can maybe beat a Seaford, maybe they get in that 4 or 5 matchup, or even a 3 seed and avoid St. E's and Laurel in that first round.
So we'll keep moving here. Head over now to Class 2A, and again, the top 2 meet teams met on Friday night, and Wilmington Friends put on a clinic there, led by Rob Tattersall. They're your top team in Class 2A. It's 7-0. They're undefeated. Howard's up there at number 2 at 6-1. Caravel undefeated at number 3, and then Archmere, St. Mark's, Lake Forest, and Newark rounding out the Class 2A Super 7. Benny, I'll start with you here. It's a crapshoot over there in Class 2A.
Yeah.
They got good teams up and down here at the Super 7 and even beyond.
I think we're going to see our best semifinals are going to come in Class 2A, and I think there's going to be an upset in the quarters along the way. Somebody, or maybe 1 or 2 teams, there's going to be maybe a 5 or a 6 that's playing in the semis, maybe in the finals.
Jason,
Jay, how tight do you think the margin of error between 1 through 7 or 1 through 5 is in this? I mean, look at these records, look at some of the matchups, look at some of the games. There's a lot of talent down there. There's not a big disparity between these teams.
I mean, look at District 3.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one team that's clinched right now, Caravel. Delmar, Red Line, Lake Forest, even Woodbridge, they're all right in that mix. 4 teams battle for 3 spots there at the end of the season. We could have a 4-way tie, realistically. So I think that's been, that district has been entertaining. District 2, I mean, I know they've all clinched, but Howard, Archmere, and Friends, anyone could beat anyone in those matchups. I know Friends has got the better of Archmere and Howard. Howard beat Archmere. Archmere beat St. Mark's.
Right.
I mean, they're
5 degrees of
they're beating
separation.
each other. It's like Benny said. I think come tournament time, you could see a 10 or 11 seed pull off an upset. It's just that. I think it's that tight.
Class 2A has been fun, will continue to be fun in and throughout playoff time. So now let's take a look at Class 3A here. Smyrna sitting atop those rankings, Pat, again, receiving all first place votes from us. They are 6-1. Sussex Central right there at number 2. Sally's has worked their way up the rankings here the past few weeks. They sit at 3, followed by Middletown, Dover, Apo, and Cape Henlopen. Pat, you talked a little bit about Smyrna already and Brian Wright and what they've been able to do.
Yeah.
They're now the new top team in the state. Sussex Central right behind them at number 2.
They're peaking at the right time, and by all means, guys, if you want to chime in, go ahead. I mean, their defense has been there all season long. It has. They've been up there. They've been one of the top defenses, if not the top defense all season long. Now the offense is catching up. They've developed the passing game with Brian Wright. This team is dangerous, and they are loaded. But it's the same thing. And how about Salesian? We got to talk about them too, Jay. I mean, they've been the team that we just kind of, for the first time in a long time, just kind of been like, okay, Sally's is there. They're solid. 6-1. They've only got 1 defeat to their name so far. I mean, they've really turned their season around.
And that one defeat was a shutout
It's insane.
From Sussex Central,
Yeah.
who also shut out Dover.
And Sussex Central, it's another team. I mean, it's wild to see these teams kind of beat each other up. You got your 3 at 6-1, and then you got your 4 and 3s, 3 and 4s type of thing going on here. It's another class where a lot of things could happen. There may be a little bit of top heaviness, but there's a lot of things that could happen in this class. What are your guys' thoughts?
And you got to talk about Middletown. One loss dropped them from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
You know, they can redeem that in 2 weeks against Sussex Central. But what happens when they go down to IMG a couple of years ago? Not so hot. You know, they came back with some injuries, and I thought probably changed their season.
Yeah.
Does that happen again? Because they're going to go from IMG. It's going to be a short rest. You know, coming back. I assume they're going to fly. I hope they're not going to drive.
That would be a long drive.
And then you got to go to Sussex Central. So I mean,
it's a tough finish.
Right, but now let's say they even lose these 2 games. Now you're throwing them in the mix as a 5 or a 6 seed, and you don't want that if you're a 3 or 4.
You're right about that.
Let's look at a team that's Salesian. They finished with Smyrna, Dover, Atho. You know, 3 teams that have already clinched, and those games are determine where they're seated come playoff time. So, you know, all these games, like Benny said, the next 3 weeks, there's some big matchups in 3A that could determine who's going where come playoff time the week after.
And again, the thing about Sally's is that defense for Salesianum has been spectacular all year long. You know, the freshman quarterback Ryan Stewart starting to really come on. He had some great throws when we saw him play against Middletown. But that defense, you know, with Nate Ray, you got Ziegler in the back end who's had a few pick sixes. They have been really limiting teams, and I think that's been a big reason for their success so far this season. And that's how they, you know, when you have a defense like that, you're in any game. Same thing with Sussex Central.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think this year, the 3A, it's been the defenses that have really carried it. Smyrna, excellent defense. Salesianum, excellent defense. Sussex Central, excellent defense. Those teams on the top all have, and Dover's defense is much improved than it's been in years past. So, I mean, those top teams all have been playing great defenses this year. And when they play head-to-head, it depends on which offense can score more points. They've been some low-scoring games. Benny did the Sussex Central Sallies. 1 touchdown was the difference. They scored it early in the second quarter. It turned out to be all they needed. I mean, I'm telling you, the Class 3A, if you like defense, this is the place to be.
And this is starting to remind me of the 2018 season where we could see some good semis. You know, 2018, that Dover Central still.
It was insane. I was there. I called that game. That was a wild one, Benny.
And we could be seeing the same type of 2020 Central's touchdown on the last play of the game to go to the finals over Smyrna.
That's unbelievable.
I think we're going to be seeing. I don't think the finals are locked up in 1A, or excuse me, in 3A or 2A.
Should be a good one. Should be a good one, Nick, for sure. Hey, we're going to take our final commercial break of the evening, 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Top plays right here on DLS Week. Welcome back into DLS Weekly. Nick, I got you, buddy. Sorry about that.
He who hesitates is lost.
Right here at Christiana. And Nick, I know we got an exciting docket yet again this week.
Yes, we do. We've already talked about one matchup. Benny, you're going to have a good one as well.
Benny's not going to have a good one.
Well, let's talk about it. Benny, let's start with you. Give us some.
Benny's going to be standing at the altar because for some reason my son decided to get married on a Friday night.
And that's a good one, right? That is a good one.
Yeah. Hey, congrats to you and your family and the track.
I'll be like the new commercial where
give it a fist pump underneath the booth,
right.
Underneath the pew.
Yeah. I was saying about Trey again leading the way for She's a Rodney Wrestling. Big wedding. He's having a big year for Trey. I like going for some.
No game down south. No picks this week. We'll be back next week.
There you go.
So it's going to be 2 good ones, Jay. Smyrna Salesianum is going to be a fantastic game, and then St. Elizabeth and Charter is going to be a good matchup in both of those contests there, Nick. And keep this thing rolling right along with our top performers.
Yeah, we've got some good ones here this week, and one of them's in the house right now, chowing down on some wings. I think you said mild were his favorite.
I think you said honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue, excuse me. Correct, absolutely. Sorry, Kasim Benson, player, performer.
Number 3 telepathy.
Yeah.
Right there.
4 rushing touchdowns for Kasim Benson. Again, when you take a look at his stats, I almost thought they were inputted wrong. They were that insane. What a year, back-to-back for Benson. He's one of our top performers this week.
Absolutely, and Anya Yadatavelli from Padua. She total 47 kills, 2 aces, and six blocks, and 22 digs in 3 games last week, getting it done out there on the court. And then finally, Nick, we got to give a shout out to we're totally stoked.
We are
for the Fightins.
We are absolutely thrilled, though. Again, World Series getting underway on Friday night. Again, I don't want to be disappointing here and bring the mood down. Just got all my emails back from the World Series ticket raffle. I will not be attending the 2022.
Yeah, so we got Mr. 302 Sports going to Game 4. I'll be at Game 3.
Pat and Nick are going. Hey, if anybody's out there watching,
Happy Halloween, ladies and gents.
I would love
It'll
to
be
go to
good.
the World Series with my friends Nick and Pat.
Help our guy out here.
Nick, we'll talk after. We will talk after. But again, Phillies in the World Series, underdogs against Houston. Friday and Saturday, games 1 and 2. Again, they'll return to Citizens Bank Park on Monday on Halloween. Pat will be there ready to go for that one. So again, Phillies, big year. It's time to cash in. Let's bring home a championship, but even bigger now, let's get to our top plays of the week, Pat. We've got 10 good ones.
Let's do it, my friend. Hey, I'll lead us off, Nick. I'm going to lead us off. I'll take the evens here, my friend. Presented to you by BSN Sports. Here we go, number 10. It's a diving one-handed save. This is Carly Kennedy. Watch this. We're going to set this one up. We're going to lay out for it. And let's get a set and bump, set, spike it.
You know, you got to love volley.
This is the way we like it.
Back and forth.
Look at that. Look at that. With a nice volley.
There. On to number 9. Losses of the week. Smyrna and Howard. Ymir Knight is going to show you here first. Talk about Brian Wright. How about that? Go up in high point, bring that in a contested touchdown right there, and then R.J. Matthews going to fire deep down the sideline. Jamal Johnson going to go up and he high points that one. Going up and getting the ball. There you go, young guys.
Here's a D cleater from Rob Tattersall and Ira Gates. Watch these. Robbie Tattersall, right? He's quarterback extraordinaire. Nope. Let's lay the wood on special teams nonetheless. And then this one, Ira Yates, we've seen this live. Oh, my ribs, man. My ribs hurt watching that thing. There's just no, like I said, Caravel was laying the wood last weekend.
On to number 7, Smyrna. They got a Philly special as well. Check it out here, guys. Coming around, they're going to fake the handoff and then toss it up easy. 6 with the Smyrna Eagles. Pat, you mentioned it, Brian Wright and company clicking at the right time here as we get to the playoff season.
Frank Nasta to Yasir Felton. Look at this throw. We're going to drop back. We're going to fade this one up. Give me that. One-handed snag. Hey, my Vikings did get the win, but that's a heck of a play right there.
Yeah, looks like George Pickens. How about Cole Soto? Chris Character here is St. Elizabeth's right here, Pat. Soto drop back, one-on-one coverage, and give me now able to tip it to himself and make the play.
Antonio Freeman style from Character right there. You kidding me? Number 4, here we go. Truman Awerda to Vandrick Hamlin, 60-yard TD pass. Told you, Awerda's developing too. Look at this. Accuracy, on time, in stride. And look at the stride of this young man, Vanlin. I mean, unreal. Caravel with the new unis getting it done.
That was on a rope. To Ymir Knight and number 3. He loves to sit back in this earthquake formation, take the snap, and he'll just give you a little hesitation. And once he finds his opening, he is gone. Down the sideline, see you later. Ymir Knight, 20-10. How about the speed to almost catch him, but not quite, as he gets into the end zone for Smyrna.
It's unbelievable. Here's P.J. Henry. Hurdling, tacking. Let's give a little Chris Berman on this one. Here he comes. Whoop! And then down the sideline, rumbling, stumbling, fumbling into the end zone for a tutty. And here comes the other one. Here goes more. Boom, boom, boom. Remember that? He used to do that all the time, Berman. And whoop! Make a man miss, and whoop! Make another man miss.
That's
tiptoe through the tulips into the end zone.
Tell the last guy you ain't catching me, too.
Eric Spears for Smyrna. You saw Christian Galvin a few weeks ago with a 96-yard return. That was the top play. here they are again. This time they're doing it with a different player defensively. Going to pick that one off and see you later. This Smyrna defense is for real. And again, they're putting up their fair share of touchdowns this year just on the defensive side of the ball. There's another one, pick 6 for the Smyrna Eagles as your top play this week.
Right place, right time, Nick. Absolutely. Sometimes it pays off being the right place at the right time. But
like Nick and his World Series tickets.
It's tremendous. Hey, great show here tonight, ladies and gents. Hyacinth Wilmington Charter, St. Elizabeth. Once again, thanks to them and their programs. Benny Mitchell, Jason Winchell, give us a final thought.
Just like you said, it's a big weekend. Volleyball state tournament will be announced on Sunday. Soccer and field hockey the following Friday. Football's got some big weeks left, so get out there, support your schools, and look for some big matchups for the next couple of weeks. 5
undefeated teams left. After this weekend, there will only be 4. And then in about 10 days, you'll start smelling the bleach. You roll out the mats.
That's right.
It's going to be time for the greatest sport of all.
Time. Oh, man.
Wrestling season right around the corner.
That's tremendous. Smell Cape Henlopen's gym from here.
They're testing the spotlights, making sure the spotlight's ready to go.
Nothing better than, obviously, Pat, I'm going to go with the Fighting Phils. It is this time World Series Red October in full swing for the Phillies. Again, very jealous that you and Nick are going to be at some of these games, but cannot be more excited. It should be an absolute fantastic World Series. Let's bring a championship home for the first time here since 2008.
That's it, man.
Will the Astros bring the trash can?
Well, I'll tell you who will.
They got something going.
The Fanatic will have a trash can.
You better believe it.
Pat's going to have a trash can, too.
I may bring one with me. But there you have it. Another great show. Thanks once again for you guys for tuning in. We're going to have a great weekend coming up. As we said, St. E's Charter as well as Smyrna and Salesianum. That's our slate this weekend on Delaware Live Sports. For Nick Alessandrini and the gang, appreciate y'all for tuning in. See you next week.
If you got World Series tickets, contact Nick Halliday for me.
We're coming down the stretch in this 2022 high school football season, and on Delaware Live, we have 2 great matchups for you this Friday night. The Upstate crew, they're going to be at Abysinio Stadium. 7:30 kickoff, a pair of undefeated teams in Class 1A. It's homecoming for the St. Elizabeth Vikings against the undefeated force of Wilmington Charter. And then the Central crew, well, we'll be right here at Smyrna High School. 6-1 Salesianum, ranked number 3 in our Super 7 Class 3A standings against the top-ranked Smyrna Eagles. Both are 6-1. Both lead their respective districts in Class 3A. Homecoming here Friday night for the Smyrna Eagles and homecoming Friday night at Abysinio for the St. E's Vikings. Should be 2 great matchups right here on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Backyard, our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our